Welcome to MotoGP Mac, where, God damn it, you fucked me up.
Let's go again.
I can say that 100 times. I'm sitting here. I see your face and I start laughing. Hello, welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans congregate and fanboys fear to tread. And boy, we ran into a few of them today. Jesus Christ. Now they're saying, now they're running out going, oh, Ducati, they shouldn't have picked him up because he crashes. It's not the hot is now all the fanboys that wanted Marquez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that he signed over, oh, of course, this whole thing's been Marquez's fault. He can't ride anymore. He don't know how. The bike's fine. All the analysts are wrong. Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, look, as you can see, that's exactly how much I entertain it. They're just like, shut up. So yeah, the Indonesian Grand Prix at Mandalika. I feel that it's. I told you, it's one of those tracks. You just cannot trust the track, and you do not want to fall off there. Like. You don't.
Well, we coined that phrase. You know what? These big shots must be listening to us because we coined the phrase, it's a survival track, right? We coined the phrase inferior, like when Yamaha was an inferior bike. And we coined Honda has the weak engineering. Before that, it was too much, that's non-PC. I noticed that.
Give MotoGP Mac a paddock pass. Give MotoGP Mac a paddock pass. Maybe they might listen to that, Give MotoGP Mac. Look, I think the race was, our boat races were really interesting, and I have had a lot of people contacting me on Instagram and saying, Joe, they don't see it with Pecco. Is he choking? And I don't think he's choking per se, and I said this in yesterday's video, maybe it was today, I can't remember. Like, if he's within half a second or 0.2 of a second, right? Like at this stage, even the slightest mistake, like look at Jorge Martin. Everyone was like, how would I call it? Billy Big Balls. He's going to do it. He's going to destroy it. He's going to do this. He was fucking 3 seconds in the lead on a soft tire. In a long race that eats tires,
mm-hmm.
Is it the mistake that he lost his concentration, or was he just on the wrong tire that squished too much eventually?
Yeah, at 60-degree tire, at 60-degree track temp too.
Exactly. Now, look, I personally, there's two things that came very clear to me. I am super excited to see this battle. I still think there's 2 or 3 more twists in the tail within this battle, right? I hope it goes down to Valencia. There's enough points on offer, in my view, to make sure it does. And I'm very happy to see there's no team orders. And people were going on about this. And I 100% believe there would have been team orders on Saturday's sprint race to give Pecco that extra point if there was team order. And the fact that didn't happen,
right? Because they were going to catch too much shit. That's why they didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
They knew they'd catch shit. They knew that if they said pass them, they'd say that everybody would say, "Oh, last year was all about nobody could pass Pecco for the whole year," because you heard that mumblings anyway.
Yeah. Look,
ridiculous. They're just a fanboy bullshit again. I told you.
It's very, very dangerous to pass in Mandalika. Offline, it's fucking manky dirty. Oh, that's an Irish term. Manky dirty, right? It is manky, right? It does now. It's not as bad as it was the last time we were there. I will give it that, but it is a brand new circuit. It is a brand new surface. All teams within there with not a lot of data. I think Martin's strong point always is that he can go at the very, 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 very straight away. Do you know what I mean? But he was running softer tires, and he had to make hay while the sun shone this morning, right? Was that soft tire going to probably cause him issues at the end of the race? I 100% think so.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at it, Maverick Vinales was on medium, and he was suffering with tires. Do you know what I mean? He had to really take care of him.
Pecco was suffering. I had told I put on the thing.
He was on hard.
What?
He was on the hard tire.
Really?
Hard front tire, medium rear. Yeah.
He was still starting to have problems from charging through at the end there. I think if he wouldn't
and I thought that was very un-Pecco like.
Huh?
That was very un-Pecco. That was very un-Pecco like to be so aggressive at the start on the hard
Yeah.
tire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, saying that, he had absolutely no fucking choice. He could not wait for that tire to come up the temperature.
Oh no,
he could not wait. You know, like if he did,
It'd be gone.
And I genuinely believe Pecco had already settled for second. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't going to chase Martin down if he got past Maverick. He knew unless there was a big visible gap or a chunk of the gap that was coming down. Now, saying that, going back to the hard and soft front tires, if Martin was on the soft tire and it started giving him jip, then maybe Pecco might have pushed on. But
I think he was trying. I think if Martin didn't go down, that Pecco would have went down trying to go past Vinales because on a solid charge because he was charging for so long.
You could see Vinales though. So Vinales in the middle of the race. I think Vinales had his number. Of what I mean, his number is that he is like, I know I have to stick at 138 twos. Do you know what I mean? If I dip in underneath that, I'm going to wear too much of my tire. And being realistic, I think he knew that he wasn't, like he was never going to be able to fight with Martin. And then if Pecco is going to come past him, it's kind of using Pecco as a tow truck to maybe tow him towards Martin. But like I think, being honest, I think with Pecco and Martin, I think it's going to be a really good. I can't wait for next weekend at Australian Grand Prix.
Oh, that's another survival track.
Yeah, anything can happen there. But Bezzecchi, my boy, what a Bezzecchi was absolutely unbelievable. Like this day, last week, he was having surgery.
Yep.
Just cop that. Do you know what I mean? He flew into Indonesia. He got to the track Friday morning, put on his leathers, and went racing. Do you know what I mean? Like it bungs every single trend that MotoGP riders have, that they arrive on Wednesday or Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? They get used to the place and whatever, and next minute then here's your man arriving like a fucking amateur. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Taking Friday off work. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't afford to take any more days off. Take Friday off, test Friday, so race Saturday, Sunday. And I genuinely thought, like, if he could stay in the top 10 each race this weekend, I thought that would have been a really good result. But obviously, he had other ideas, do you know what I mean? And he lessened, like, he closed the gap to Martin today, do you know what I mean? Obviously, with Martin crashing and him scoring points. But again, it just makes me really, 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 I suppose, excited to see what is going to happen over the next five race weekends now.
Oh, it makes me laugh. I was going to write down. I didn't get a chance. I was going to say it was too late. Don't count Pecco out before this race. Because people are like, all of a sudden, Martin was unstoppable. Even the announcer saying he's unstoppable. You swear he had two hands on the trophy. Okay. Now he crashes once, and now it's Pecco back again who's got the title. They swear Pecco's going to win. It's just like, folks, you don't know race to race. This is nothing set in stone, folks.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about choking, right? Do you know what I mean? It's too tight now for anyone to even fucking choke. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's because there's so many races. because there's so many racing laps, it's about becoming healthy. Where I think we'll see someone choke is that if it goes down to Valencia, say, that's when we're going to see someone choke. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the ultimate pressure cooker. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking 1-on-1 or 3-on-3 or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
If they're all in for a show. Like, I was super impressed yesterday watching British Superbikes. You know, going into the last round of the championship, they upped the points, right? So instead of getting 25 for a win, you get 35 for a win, right? That made 8 of them, 8 eligible that they could win the championship. Mathematically. Now, would you buy fucking tickets to go and watch that? Of course you would.
Yeah.
Because fucking anything could happen, right? And it did. Like it rained. What, 3 hours before, or sorry, 10 minutes before qualifying. It pissed out of the heavens. Two of the championship leaders qualified a little bit back the grid. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, you're just looking at it and going like, this is fucking absolutely perfect. This is what you pay money for to watch and see and make a spectator sport. And we're getting that now in MotoGP, although it's a little bit more. But Pecco had his go at winning races all the season. Now it's Martin's turn. Bezzecchi then is fucking up the apple cart at times for some of those riders. And I'm looking at it and I'm just going like, this is absolutely perfect. We're probably still about 4 races away from getting it down to throw 2 title contenders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would never count out Bezzecchi. Like, after this weekend, I now understand how much he wants to win that championship. Because if he was blasé about it, he would have taken the weekend off, gone straight to Australia, chilled out there. Do you know what I mean? Got his fucking exercise and whatever. But no, he turned up at a fucking racetrack on a Friday morning.
Yes,
it's on the bike.
It's boiling hot. The survival race was slick. It's dirty. All right, that's no.
Every fucking alarm bell is going off to say, do not ride that bike. Don't. Like, the fucking boogeyman is sitting on your shoulder going,
this is not Misano's. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And, look, I think we're all going to be very lucky. Like, for me, again, I say this is not a thing about choking. This is a thing about now who is going to push it to the absolute limit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you look at it, the limit that they're on is ahead of everyone else's. So everyone else is just not in their fucking ballpark. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, no, look, I don't think you're going to see anyone choke. I think we're just going to see people beat each other. Like, I know there's a lot of comments over Pecco's qualifying lap and whatever. Now, I didn't watch on Friday. Remember when he went straight to Q1 rather than Q2. A lot of people were saying to me, "Oh, he's choking." He made 2 mistakes when the 2 laps counted.
Yeah, that was that when the yellow came out, and then he was hanging on that rear tire. He was on that rear tire way too long. He wasn't choking. He just had nothing left.
Exactly. And then the other side, I don't know. Like, I ride a bike a couple of times a week. And even those couple of times a week, I probably make 5 or 6 fucking mistakes.
No. Oh, can you help me out here, by the way? I had some fun to Fanboys. Tell them that Marc Marquez is towing and 90% of the field is not towing.
So this is what I find very interesting. Mark got towed actually by Mir, and Mir nearly clattered him when Mark lost the rear end during Friday. Mm-hmm. But Mark does tow, and Mir is starting to copy him now, and I don't like that. I have no problem with someone using someone as a marker. They're 15 feet in front of you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going so much faster, you should have that gap. Do you know what I mean? That for me is still a marker you're using for the game. You're saying, okay, he's braking here. I'm going to brake half a meter more.
You're using to judge speed, more or less. Time.
Speed and position. And you are going to be able to kind of say, okay, I know from my dashboard that I'm up or down on time. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And you can gauge all that. But this towing fucking business is.
It's not allowed in Moto3, right? They don't.
In Moto3 is a little bit
it's dangerous. The only reason they're allowed it because Honda pushed Dorna to say, "Hey, it's the only way we can get the only way you can get it."
Look, I don't even think it's got. I think it's more around the person that's doing it. To be fair and to be honest, Rossi, and like to be very open, Rossi was doing it with Bagnaia before he finished up.
Oh yeah, I know, but not in this nature.
But no, not to like. The problem I have with Marquez is that it is a complete tow, but Mark could run into the person in front of him. Do you know what I mean? He's too close. But look, I'm sure he pays Jack Miller well.
Yeah.
Pecco and like, look, Mark has openly admitted that he does it. You know, he towed behind someone and he says, "Oh, I wasn't looking for Pecco, I was looking for Bezzecchi." Do you know what I mean? So look, he openly does it. I think Binder, poor old fucking Binder this weekend. I think I may a commentator's cursed him, if I'm honest. But
I thought Binder would do well also. I was right there with you.
Yeah, I thought he would do really, really well.
Hey, but I was rooting for Quartararo, and I didn't jinx him this time.
I know you didn't jinx him. I saw your text coming through, and I said, "I'm really rooting for Quartararo." And then I saw him going backwards, and I was like, "You motherfucker! You absolute motherfucker! What the fuck? Don't fucking WhatsApp me! Don't ever text me again, you bastard!" I look. I will be fair and honest. He wouldn't have been on the podium today, you know. But he rode an absolute stunner of a race. But it was very clear to me, and should be clear to the world, what's wrong with the Yamaha now. There's nothing wrong with corner speed in the Yamaha. But he just could not battle with anyone.
Yeah. It's the inline 4 physics problem. It's been around for 100 years, you know, for 50, 60 years.
It's not even the physics problem, right? It's Quartararo has been saying, "I need more power." Pure obvious. He needs more power because they can't
push it without blowing the engine up. They can't keep it going.
Yeah, but he could not level Maverick Vinales today. Like he could use, like if he could have leveled him at the end of the straight, he could have blocked past him. Do you know what I mean? But he couldn't even do that. So the Aprilia tires are fucked, right?
Yeah,
you could see it. You could see it in the twisty bits where Pecco was pulling the gap in the first sector. You know, Fabio was closing in on the first sector. The Aprilia was really strong with tires in the second sector. Without tires, it was the same. So Fabio wasn't losing in the second sector, and then like the fourth sector, Fabio was fucking brilliant.
Right.
But he still could not get him. Do you know what I mean? Into that one deep braking point. And that was like all she wrote. It was just, I felt sorry for Fabio because if you put Martin back in there, if you put Binder back in there, you know, he wasn't getting past. None of them. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Which is, but look, it's a podium. Delighted for him. Happy out. But it's kind of one of those ones, you know, Lady Luck more played a hand in it than the bike.
Well, he did well on that track. Remember before the race started, a few days. Remember I said he does well on that track, and that's why I was rooting for him. I said, he's right. That's this track.
I think look, I think it's I think it's good. I think it's good. It's kind of the freshman needs, but look, like he's been very publicly firm with Yamaha, and basically he's saying, "You give me a bike next year that I can compete for the championship with, or I will look elsewhere."
Hey, if you didn't notice, every time he says that publicly, the bike goes faster. He says it, they turn it up on him, right? And it doesn't blow up. And
well, then, like I don't know, is it that they turn it up, or do they just put in a fresh engine this weekend? Do you know what I mean?
I know. I was looking at the motorcycle road racing technology, and they said that Yamaha is running low on engines. They're having they're wearing fast because of the physics problem. It's
Look, I think everyone is coming into the space of using engines a lot. Like if you look at it,
they were saying that in particular. They're doing particularly bad.
Yeah. No, I think Brad Binder unlucky, and a lot of people were wondering about why he didn't Aleix get done for taking Binder out of the sprint. And it's actually kind of a stupid rule, but it is the rule. That when Aleix Espargaro crashed and then hit Binder, that was deemed collateral damage. You were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It doesn't change the fact that, for me, you made a mistake, you crashed your bike, you impacted someone else's race. Where he then got done today was that he was actually on his bike and his bike was upright when he hit someone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, not really. I'm getting a little lost in it. The other one is when you crash. If it's under yellow, somebody else crashes and you crash while he's under yellow, right? You get a penalty. It's not like you're doing it on purpose, right?
Yeah.
What kind of bullshit's that?
What, that you crash? Well, it depends in the circumstances of it, right? So under the rules of racing, a waved yellow or a double waved yellow means that there's an incident ahead. Be prepared to stop.
Right. So, but if you crash by banana peel on the track,
that's where kind of common sense comes in. It's like if there was a yellow flag and there was oil on the track, from a bike going off, you would you crash. So, but you unfortunately nowadays with all the aero and stuff on the bikes, when they crash, it's not even worth fucking restarting now. I mean, if you have a bike with aero,
right?
But I do believe that if you're coming into a corner that there's a yellow flag and it's not anything to do with lack of adhesion or fucking anything, that you're just going too fast, next minute you go, oh shit, that's a mistake. That's because you're not paying attention to what you're supposed to do. You deserve a penalty. If there is some reason or something like, I don't know, there is a fairing in the middle of the track, just say that again is still a penalty reason, because again, yellow flags standard. Like there's a stationary yellow flag means there's an incident ahead. Double wave yellow means there's something ahead. Be prepared to stop. And if you don't know the rules, and fuck off. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I have it. Now, if you're going in there and there's oil on the track or a liquid on the track and you wouldn't know it, and you could fall at 2 miles an hour,
right?
That's fair enough. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do there. You're on a slick tire.
Do you still get penalized?
I don't think you would. I think they could do, but I don't think.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't think it would. Just depend on the nature of the yellow flag. I thought, Marquez, I suppose. What a fucking shit weekend that he had. 23 crashes this season.
I had to love it. He goes down, right? And he's going like this. Like, you know what he's thinking right now? God, thank God I signed that contract to get me off this piece of shit. You know it damn well. That's what he's saying.
He looked pretty distraught after it, to be fair, at the side of the track. They showed a picture of him. Not as distraught as Jorge Martin, but he looked fairly distraught. And, look, obviously he went to Grassini, or he's going to Grassini and this, that, and the other. I still think that he's made the decision, but I still think he's somewhat still struggling with the decision. Do you know what I mean?
That's throws me. You know what? When I say he has a problem with change, they've been screwing him for years. You know it.
And I think, but I don't think he's going to realize that until he leaves. Do you know what I mean? Until he's out of the situation. And I had that for years. I used to work at one of the largest multinationals in the world, right? And nothing was ever good enough. Do you know what I mean? You were always expected to be plugged into the matrix, and there's all this, that, and the other. And then I moved to a job where I was supposed to work 9 to 5. Do you know what I mean? And someone caught me under the PC at 7 o'clock, and they're like, "We're going to shut off your PC if you're still working." I was like, and like that was the standard for me in the position that I was in. Do you know what I mean? They're like, no, you don't. Work is work and family is family. Do you know what I mean? Now I then started up a YouTube channel and all of this stuff, and just took more life out of took more hours out of my time. But I think, these are like, it was just a poor weekend for him. It was a poor weekend for Zarco. Miguel Oliveira was unlucky in today's race. I know there's a few people out there are major fans of Miguel Oliveira. Some lovely person commented that I made 1 second comment on Miguel Oliveira, and again, like, you can call me a Pecco fan, but I was fucking very hard on Pecco in yesterday's one, where like he did not make one pass in the whole fucking race. Do you know what I mean? And with Oliveira, there was 2 Aprilias ahead of him or whatever it was yesterday. He didn't look fucking amazing. Do you know what I mean?
I actually replied to him, and I said below it, I said, Mac and I are realize that the Oliveira's skill. We realize that the Aprilia is a title-winning bike, but on this day, he wasn't that great. It was just mediocre. We're not here to cheerlead, folks. We're here to sell it like it is. If you did great,
look, if you have a good race, you have a good race. And if you shit race, you have a shit race. And we call it out in that way. I was actually really impressed with Rins. He was in a lot of pain after the sprint race, and he did well today. Top Honda.
Yeah.
Imagine Nakagami, who was fully fit, no problems. Do you know what I mean? And getting beaten by Rins.
Did you see him coming into the corner? They had a picture of both coming into the corner, and both bikes were like all over the place. I mean, it was like, oh
yeah. Man. Well, look, some of that was down to the type track too, as well, right? Because like you could not predict lap to lap what was actually going to fucking happen there. Do you know what I mean? It was like normally you have maybe 1 meter wide of a racing line. Do you know what I mean? There you probably had less than a foot.
Somebody had written down and said, why don't they have vacuum? The vacuum trucks.
But that's not.
I never see them. I think there'd be a great. I mean, they can't.
They do have them. Most trucks have them. Yeah. They mostly use them actually to suck the water out of the track when it rains heavily.
But really, I've never seen them out in the track. I think I saw them once. I saw one time.
No. We saw 3 or 4 times this year that we've seen the tracks. We saw it. I was actually pulling the piss out of it in India, if you do remember, because one of the trucks was called safety car.
Yes. I distinctly remember you saying that, and they went on one side. So
So look, they do have them, but the problem is right. That's a brand new racetrack. It's coastal, right? So the sand just gets up into the air and then just deposits, right? And then you have the downforce now of the bikes. You have the sticky fucking tires.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like the dust is just there. Now it's not as bad as Qatar and places like that, but it's dirty because the circuit then is not used. Do you know what I mean? And that's the other side of it. There's brand new black top down on that. That is just historically very dirty anyway, right?
Yes. And it's built in a swamp. It's built in a swamp. It was built in a swamp, so water starts to come up through it.
Yeah, well, look, like that can be dealt with pretty easily, right? But I suppose where the problem is that it's going to just take some time, and it's going to take the riders. Like we've been there twice now, and it's just been. It was the new surface. Then they were patching it. Then it was fucking filthy dirty. I do believe that they do have the track cleaners in, so like they can put for the couple of weeks before it, they can put like it's like chemicals and whatever, and they use those street sweeper trucks to try and wash the tarmac as best they can, but you're never really going to get it up there, get the dust up out of it. And then look, you're never going to have the line on it if it's not used either. Now, there's always this thing that the problem also happens between the Dunlop rubber and the Michelin rubber are two different types of rubber. So when the MotoGP boys go out after the Moto2 boys, it can cause some, let's just say, for instance, it's cross contamination or whatever. But look, it's the same for everyone, so we get on with it. I do think there's a lot of people talking about Oliveira and Honda. Now, there's so Miguel Oliveira said that basically showed that it's very flattering that Honda are interested in him. And then he said at the end of it, he's like, "Oh, never say never." Do you know what I mean? And then they interviewed Razlan, who said, "No, we have a 2+2, so 2-year contract with an option of 2 more years. He's not going anywhere." But then he turned around at the end of it and he's like, "You just never know." And that's because the precedents have been set for years upon years. Like, if you look around the paddock, right, who could you get? Like, what riders could you get to help? Like, they need an experienced rider to help develop their bike.
Yeah.
Oliveira is probably one of the better choices that you could make.
Yeah.
I don't think Maverick Vinales is ever, and I don't think it's a goer. Do you know what I mean? Honda have the money to buy him out of his contract of 2+2. Razlan's team need the money.
But but if he's does Oliveira though want to go to the career killer?
That's the thing, you know. So the question, and this is kind of the thing that came into mind when I was listening to Razlan. Has Oliveira had that chat with himself? And this is a kind of so when you start off as a motorbike racer or any racer or any competitor, right, you always have this faith in yourself that it's going to happen.
Right.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the fucking greatest thing since sliced pan. Do you know what I mean? And then you enter into the class where the dream is, right? You've made it all the way to where you probably never thought you would make it to. And then you get a couple of wins or whatever, but you're never really
at the sharp end of the stick.
Yeah, right. And I wonder then, like, if you look at the battering that Oliveira has taken this year, you're kind of going, how many more years of this could I do?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Will I ever be world champion? All right. True. And then you start looking at, okay, I need to set myself financially secure
right
for the future. Make sure that I don't have to go back to work again because so look,
can I be on the bike for more than a year? Is this going to be a 1-year deal? And is that 1-year deal going to carry me for the rest of my life?
Yeah. And I think that's where it is. So, like, realistically, again, I said this for ages, you know, Honda, even Marquez, right? Marquez is at the weakest point of his career in terms of negotiations. Currently, Honda are at the weakest point of their existence in negotiations because literally someone can just fucking pick a number from the sky and say, if you really want me, you're going to pay me that. And they have no fucking choice. Well, they do. They can say no, and they don't get the person that they want.
Right.
I would ride a Ducati for travel money, then ride a Honda for 30 million. And I think I wouldn't be alone in that sort of mindset. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
which is Quartararo's next. Not going to be Quartararo's next move. I have a feeling.
I think Quartararo is going to go to Aprilia.
I hope so. That would be.
That's where I think he's going.
Because if he knows it, that bike is title ready. That thing really handles. I mean, I think it handles. It's good, if not better than the Ducati. When it's on,
this is where
is phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's all about. You could probably, and this is why I always said I wanted to see Rids go to the Aprilia. You could ride that Aprilia the exact same way as a V or as an inline 4.
Yeah,
100%. Like if you looked at Alex and Maverick through Sector 2 in Mentalica, where it's really twisty and anything, it was fucking leaps and bounds ahead of everything else. Pulling Ducatis back in or stretching away from them.
Do you notice that too? Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. So it's like for me when I think that's where it's going to go. And look, I think it's quite humbling actually, because an awful lot of the riders and these aliens who I think they're all going to take a big, incredible pay drop to be competitive.
Yeah.
Like I don't see Fabio being able, unless he stays with Yamaha, being able to demand 20 million or whatever it is he's at, right?
No, well, he's not with the Aprilia, the brand anyway.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, look, Aprilia Piaggio are a well funded thing.
Yeah, I just bought two.
Huh? You bought two bikes for but what I mean there is like I think Aprilia will pay a little bit more, and this is what is because Aprilia are missing the alien.
Yeah,
they're ready for the alien now.
You could see it in this race, though. You could see it. When they're going around the bend, you could say this bike is ready for that's the missing point that it needs, because look how well it does. Look how well that thing's gone through the corners.
Yeah, exactly. And like if Mav I don't know. There's just something that Mav falls short on, and I just don't know what it is. He's getting himself into good positions, but is that raw killer instinct gone now? Do you know what I mean? I just don't know. And
listen to him after the race, Maverick. They talked to him. He had that nonchalant. Yeah, okay. I was running out of tire. I said, no, I'm not going to make it. It was just this. He didn't even have it. It wasn't even strained. Like, damn, I ran out of tire, and I just said, hell, I'll take the points. It didn't sound strained whatsoever. It was like, okay.
But yeah, and that's where
the tire ran out. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but look, that was and I suppose that's kind of where I'm going with it. Is like his tires are running out, and he was being safe. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My kind of reaction to that is being safe for what?
Yeah.
Okay. He is what? He's on 165 points. The latest Sparger is on 177, right? You can kind of understand, okay, I need to beat my teammate in the championship. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. But then the other side of me says, right, I'm not in the championship fight. I fuck all to really lose. Do you know what I mean? Right. Shit or bust. Do you know what I mean? I'll end in the fucking gravel trap and try and fucking do this. And I suppose that's the killer edge that thing. Like Fabio was overriding this evening. This morning. It's right. He was pushing that Yamaha to try and get past that Aprilia. Do you know what I mean? And you could see him, like you could fucking see him. And like I suppose that's the little bit that's missing in them. Like Aprilia's can only lead from the front, if that makes sense. That if they're in a dogfight, it's very, very hard for them to perform.
Well, but you're up front, by the way. You have that natural instinct to go like a fight or flight, where you go, okay, I'm gone, and you'll push that a little extra. Usually, the present person when they're in front. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be passed. That's a natural. You don't have to think about it. That's a natural instinct to run and try to make that 10 tenths where they normally wouldn't. You know.
Yeah. I just think. Look, I just thought it was interesting though, and I think Aprilia need an alien, and I do think that alien will be Fabio Quartararo. I can't see Fabio going to Ducati. I just don't think there's the room for him. Like, let's face it. If VR46 signed with Yamaha next year to be their satellite bike, I think Bezzecchi will be gone into Pramac. Then you would have, like, I do think if Bastianini has another year like he has this year, I think Bastianini would be gone. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So there'd be a factory seat, and they'd be hard pushed not to either give Martin or Bezzecchi the factory seat. Do you know what I mean? And
right.
I personally think they'll favour the Italians, you know.
Speaking of Italians, by the way, what about the VR46 and that Performance Oil lubricant company for sponsorship?
Well, that was the main sponsor of today's race. Yeah, Permitive or Permitar.
I don't know what it is, but that kind of puts the kibosh, I would think, on Yamaha picking up on VR46.
Not really.
Well, I'm thinking of it this way. I'm an Italian performance oil company, right? I make motor oil, performance motor oil, right?
Yeah.
Right. Do I want to sponsor a Ducati, legendary brand with legendary another Italian manager, or do I want to?
Are you sure it's Italian? I didn't think it was Italian. It is. I thought it was
Italian.
I actually thought it was Indonesian, and that's why they announced it at the Indonesian Grand Prix. But no, look, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Skiddici oil. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's interesting now, because I believed that it was an Indonesian brand, like, but yeah.
Check on me. Check on them. That's what the announcer said.
Yeah. 100%. No, it's Indonesian. Check.
Indonesian. Okay.
It is a national energy company, 100% owned by the government of Indonesia.
They said it was an Italian performance, the lubrication company. The performance lubrication.
No. No. It is a performance of oil, gas, renewable energies, investor relations. No, I'm looking at it there now. It's Indonesian.
Okay.
So
I'm corrected. All right, then maybe you have your your Yamaha sponsorship down the road.
Maybe. Yeah. Look, I think I still think a lot is to be decided still yet. You know what I mean? But I think it'll be very interesting to see what goes down. In realistically, like being very, very real, the first test of 2024, I think that will start the silly season very early. I think a lot of riders will want, a lot of main riders will want to get that tied up very quickly, and I think a lot of the teams will also want to do it. If you know what I mean. Like they will want to, like I think Pecco will be tied in very quickly. Martin will be tied in. Bastianini, I think they will leave quite late. Let's just call it that way. They'll
Yeah.
try and tie Bezzecchi up. But like, I think the other side of the coin, I think the whole VR46 Ducati Yamaha situation, that would be tied up very early as well. I would think by the first third of the year, that deal will be done. Yeah, 100%. Who else did I watch? There was someone else I wanted to talk about. Jack Miller. Did you see what happened to Jack Miller?
No.
So in Saturday's sprint race, he was coming in to the pits after the race, and you know the way the riders put their left elbow on the tank, because their left arm takes majority of the punishment. So he had his left arm on the tank, and he's just pootling in, and he hit the pit lane limiter, and then he went to brake as he was coming into the pit lane, and he fucking face planted himself flat onto the ground. Like, and in his interview after, he was like, I don't know, maybe the tires must have been dirty or the brakes were closed or whatever. And someone said, like, did you hurt yourself? And he's like, no, not really, but well, maybe my ego.
Ego, yeah.
But yeah, he's another person I think is at risk at the end of 2024. I love Jack, to be honest. I think probably one of the funniest riders out there.
Yeah.
He has
the charisma.
Yeah, but there's zero fucks. Like, do you know what I mean? He loves his racing. He goes and does his racing, and what you say or think about him, whether it's positive or negative, he doesn't give a shit. Like, sorry weekend for Augusta for now. Well, I suppose he didn't do too bad in the sprint, but in today's race crash, and it was tough for Gas. Excuse me. The whole day was tough for Gas because Paul went out in lap 1 and then Augusto went out. So Repsol Honda and Gas had a pretty shit race day, if I'm very honest. Who else?
There was something else. I forget what the hell it was.
Wasn't there? We were talking about it. Yeah, there is some controversy about Oliveira being called a girl or something. I don't know.
Yeah, a girl. Who's a girl? The Rocco or something said it. They catch it all the way. I'm like, what the hell? Did he just call him a girl or sissy or something like that?
I don't know. I don't know actually what happened, but I saw a bulletin there that they've clarified whatever it is. Espargaro, I was very shocked with his race. You know what I mean? I was just like, what in the name of fuck are you doing choosing a soft rear tire? Like, like, come on. Like, I can understand if you're looking for or searching for something, but you know, everyone around you is taking mediums. I'll put in a fucking soft rear.
Yeah.
You know, this track is at 60 fucking degrees Celsius. I get it. If you put in a hard, it will fucking it will.
Yeah, grease up. Yeah.
But it will tear and stuff. Like, come on, you know. Like Michelin were advising everyone medium, and he goes soft, and then you can see it just like plummeted down. But like,
rarely do guys make a choice that's better than if you notice, rarely do the guys make a choice that are better than what the Michelin guys say. That's what they're there for.
They are, but you never really trust them.
Well, of course not.
Because like they're going to say, let's say medium, just say, and I'm like, I think I can make soft work, right? And then I would come back to you and say, are you saying medium because it's actually the right tire or the safest tire?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I would be naturally inquisitive then to be like, do you know what I mean? What is it? And yeah, what I have understood is that there's been not a lot of people caught breaking the pressure rule.
Really? I'm surprised.
I think I've only heard of 2 or 3 incidents of people,
or everybody just keep them quiet,
or have they just said fuck it?
Yeah. Everybody's breaking. We can't do anything about it. What the hell?
Could you imagine that? I was talking to someone recently about it, right? And they're like, could you imagine? Just say,
the field
go back a number of years ago, and Rossi was racing in his heyday in Misano. He's won the race, and half an hour later, he gets disqualified because of a tire pressure thing. Can you fucking imagine the rioting that would be taking place there?
Yeah.
Like people, there wouldn't be a seat left in the fucking grandstand. They'd be all fucked at Dorna's door. Like, do you know what I mean? It would be just, and I think it's just one of those silly, stupid rules. I get it. I understand why they're doing it and whatever. But I really, really don't see the issue with someone having one man, just say for instance, that checks the front 3 tires of the front 3 competitors, do you know what I mean, 2 minutes before the thing, and then they put on a cap and they see it. Do you know what I mean? And it takes 30 seconds. Yeah, tire is checked. It's okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
I told you, get Dorna get their fingers out of performance. You just see that Dorna is doing their pushing for the or they already went through it for the World Superbike and the small the balancing the weight of the rider. Bullshit.
Yeah, there's a few things coming through. Look, I'll be honest. I don't know. I
know I'm a big guy. I'm saying it's bullshit.
Yeah, I think I don't know what is actually the right way to do it, right? And I don't really know what way is the best way to go with this. Do they have the minimum bike and rider, or do they have a minimum bike? What like if they have a minimum,
they're trying to combine the weights.
I don't know though. Is that the right way either?
They're calling it the Bautista rule. Some are saying it's the anti-Ducati rule. Some people they're calling it. It's all kind of it's getting off the. It's the anti-Japanese must-win rule.
But I genuinely don't know that is either way the right way. Like if you have a minimum bike weight, right?
Right.
Then they're going to force the riders to lose more and more weight, right? Like, look at what they used to do to Petrucci. Remember Petrucci?
Yeah.
He nearly fucking killed himself dropping weight to be competitive, right? And, like, it's not healthy for someone that should be 130 pounds walking around at 70.
Yes.
So it's fucking... Do you know what I mean? So, and then I don't know, is it right either having a combined rider and bike minimum weight? Because, again... the cheapest thing to lose weight is a rider.
Yeah.
So it's like when I used to race go-karts, like a liter of petrol is a kilo, right? Or 1 kg or 2.2 pounds or whatever you want to fucking call it, right? So if you were to accelerate 2.2 pounds on a go-kart track or whatever would be, just say maybe 0.01 of a second. So every kilo that you're carrying over the minimum weight. So, like, for example, I used to weigh myself. I needed to be 67.5 kilos on race day.
Okay.
That was the average of the weights of things. So my body weight used to be that. I then knew to complete 18 laps, I needed 9.5 liters of petrol. Not 9.6, 9.5.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's all those calculations of getting absolutely down to things. You don't want to do that in MotoGP. You don't want to get the riders down to net zero. I think my friend once got down to 5% body fat. I think he lasted 3 days of it, and then he was like, "Fucking."
Yeah.
Once
I would walk around at 7% body fat, and I was shredded. I mean, shredded.
Yeah, but you didn't fucking eat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking lettuce and fucking green shit.
That was boxing. So, you're working out so much that, you just burned it right off. Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't.
But if I had to go under that, oh my God, I had to cut a body part off, because I couldn't get below 235. That was it.
Yeah, but look, it's a dangerous game, I think, setting minimum bike weights and maximum. I think there has to be something, but I think it has to be something that there is, how would I say?
Japanese make better bikes. How about that? That's something for them. Make better bikes. Fire the Asian engineers and hire European engineers and make better bikes. Simple.
I would agree with you. I think there's a couple of things more to that than what you say, though. I think that the Yamaha team and Honda team need to stop being so precious.
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 Their egos to win the can't get through the door.
If I turned around and I called you precious, it's like delicate little flower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think they need to understand that they're now in a fight to save their face, being very honest, and they're proud and people and this, that, and the other, but their lack of reaction to what has gone on with the European manufacturers.
Yes. Did you notice back to MotoGP that when Marquez, who's probably listening to us, when he said Hello, Mark. We wanted European engineers, right? So I think he must be listening to us too. We've been saying that forever, right? Honda says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna," right? He sees 2 or 3 people, and that's it.
I personally think his decision to leave was made months ago. I think there was a lot of problems getting him out.
Get him out of the contract? I don't know. Well, like I said, I had a hell of a memory for that doing it.
I would still put money on that he was due to go to KTM, and the fact that KTM couldn't get a bike.
Now, one thing he did say they caught it saying, "What are you going to do in the future?" He said, "Hey, right from the get-go, I was only going to go to Grassini anyway, right? Because my brother was there."
No, you're wrong on that one now, and that's wrong.
That's what I read. That's what I read. Okay,
100% wrong. Yeah,
is it wrong? It's
no,
tough.
it's wrong. No,
tough to weed through all the crap that's getting flung through there.
No, that's wrong. He was asked about why he picked Grassini, and he turned around and the first thing he said was that it's one of the best bikes on the grid that's available. That's what his exact words were. It's one of the best. It's the best bike on the grid that was available. The team is a really family-oriented team, and my brother is then in the team. So it wasn't because my brother was there. It is because it was the best bike and it was the best bike that he could get his.
Well, you were saying that there. Well, he's saying it's because his brother was there, and he was it's a family-oriented. He wanted to be in the. That's right, because it's the same one where he said, "I want to go there and just have fun. I want to go there and just ride."
He just turned around and he said, "I want to go there to enjoy my riding."
Yeah,
and to enjoy my riding, I need the best bike. That's what. That's what he said. It's all around the bike, right? But I still 100% believe that Mark made the decision to leave months ago, that KTM were promising him a factory team. They couldn't get anyone out of the contracts, right? Like all Jack had to say is that, for instance, if they wanted to get rid of Jack from the KTM factory team, they could. If Jack said no, that I'm not giving my agreement up, which could have happened, right? Then they would have to do what Honda did when Dovizioso said no. They'd have to run a third bike. But Dorna were like, absolutely no way. They gave him the 5th bike, and that was supposed to be for Acosta. And then they wanted the 6th bike, and that's when everything broke down for KTM. But I still believe it is only 1 year, and he's gone to KTM. I don't think
he's going to go to KTM.
I think he will. Massive Red Bull sponsorship.
We have money on that,
Yeah.
don't we? Or a beer? Or did I give you?
Beer, yeah.
5-1 odds. $10 will get you 50. I think it is.
I don't care, whatever, man, because you're paying.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Hey,
Yeah,
I was the one that said he
100%.
was going to Grassini when you said no way, no freaking way is he going to Grassini.
Right,
Remember?
that's his only option, or a year on Honda, or a year out.
Yeah,
We said no way. We said no way when all the red. When I said no way, no way when all the red or the KTM talk was still going. He wouldn't pick Grassini over KTM.
And I think
Grassini
over. They said I'll end up with Grassini because of his brother.
Yeah, but I think he ended up in Grassini because because KTM couldn't give him a bike, and that's what I genuinely still think. And I think there's a pre-contract there already. I've heard it from 2 or 3 sources.
The other thing is, why would he go to KTM when it's not as good? I have nothing against KTM, but why would they go to KTM when it's not as good as the Ducati? Unless there's something they're holding cards and he knows something that this thing they have something waiting in the wings.
Darren Binder is a fucking brilliant rider, right? Mm-hmm. But he's not yet a full alien. He's nearly there, but he's not yet a full alien. Mm-hmm. And I think, and this is kind of where I'm going, right, with this. Why I believe Mark, or they believe Mark was going to come to KTM. KTM have put on the table that 2024 they're going to win the championship. Now that's a very, very big fucking statement to make.
No, it is, but we all make statements. Statements are cheap.
No. We all make it a statement. We all make a statement, but this came from the head of the Peer Mobility Group. So this is above Pit Byra and all of those.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And Francesco Guidati also backed up. So their timeline and their plan says to them they're going to do it next year. I am not sure that they have the riders to do it. So why would you come out with a statement like that? Now, I think they were convinced that they would have Mark on it, and that's why they made that statement.
David,
I think Mark, probably just being Mark, can probably bring 3/10 a second to that bike. Easy. Yep. How far are they behind on raw pace? Just about that. So I think, personally, that's where it is. I think then the fact that you look at DG Antonio, like this weekend was a fucking great weekend for him. Right? He could go to Honda. I don't think he will. I think it's World Superbikes is where he'll go, and they bring Iker Lecuona out. But I think if I'm looking at it, I think Red Bull or KTM have overestimated what they're going to do. Now I could be wrong, but I don't see title winner team or riders there for next season.
No.
Now, do you know what I mean? And I'm convinced they thought they had Mark. But anyway, sure. Look, I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
What exactly happened?
I'd have been happy if you went to KTM. I'd have been happy if you even more. My fate. I gotta admit, if I want to be a fan of any brand, it would be KTM because they're always punching up. So you know, I mean, all the European brands are punching up. You know, what I mean, above their weight because because of their money. You know, they don't have the budget the Japanese do, but. I
think you're a little bit wrong there. I think you're underestimating it. Like Honda are not spending $300 million a year. Right?
They're never. Wall Street Journal is never wrong.
I'm telling you, they're wrong, right? Because, Formula One budget is $135 million a year.
Okay.
So Honda, MotoGP are not spending anywhere near $300 million.
Oh no! It's no. What the story said is that that their budget is 300% more than 300% more than the European.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that KTM have come out and said that they're spending about $70 million a year. So if it's 300% more than $70 million,
yeah, so
I'm telling you that's wrong.
they're saying it's not. It's they don't have a $200 million budget.
Honda, no, not a hope. Not a hope. I think what they're talking about is HRC, which is Honda Racing Corporation, right? Which will have Formula One, IndyCar, everything. Like if you look at the side of the Red Bull, you'll see HRC written on it. Like there's no way Honda to produce 4 bikes is costing 200 million, not 50 million a bike. The resources and the changes that you see on that Honda, there's no way that it's been anywhere near it. Do they have the resources to do it? Yes, they probably have 300 or 400% more resources that they can put into it. But I just think when you look at what has been done,
you think they're holding back on the funds?
I don't think they're holding back on funds. I think if they really need the funds, they're there, right? But with the limited testing, I think they have a couple of 100 people maybe working on it worldwide, globally. I don't think it's I think they have more resource, yes, if they need it. But when we've kind of gone through this a lot, is that I just think they don't have the, how do they call it? They don't. It's not that they don't have the experience, but the development cycle or pathways within MotoGP have completely changed. It's not now the mechanical aspect of the bike. Do you know what I mean? There's aero, there's all this, and when you're breaking virgin territory like that, the open mindset of learning while racing, I think the European manufacturers have adapted to that cycle of development.
Right. Yeah, we went over this.
Where and a prize example of that would be the dinosaur wings in the back of a fucking
dinosaur wings, right? It takes 5 minutes to make them. But
you could 3D print them.
There's no way that but we'll take Wall Street Journal out of it. Ducati sells 65,000 bikes a year, and that's a record. Okay, Honda sells 18 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not spending anywhere near. Ducati's not spending anywhere near what that Honda's spending.
But it doesn't have to.
Oh, it doesn't have to. Yeah, well, that's because they're better engineers. That's because they're rock stars.
But that's my whole point, is that the way they've approached their racing and thing, right? Where the Japanese would be building, they'd be building next year's bike, and that bike would never see the light of day until next year. Where you would have a look at it, where Ducati are going, okay, we're going to sacrifice one of our race riders, i.e. Zarco, and we're going to start putting 2024 components onto his bike. So they're already testing every year. And it's not only till lately did we see this. I think in India, I think Mir was running the new exhaust for next year. Do you know what I mean? And I think for me that that's where the biggest gap has opened up. It's not about dollars, and it's not about this. Like, I think the engineering side of it, I think Ducati, Aprilia, and even KTM, they're slower at bringing out parts that work, but when they come out, they work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Right.
Whereas Honda would.
And I'm saying
that, we're going to bring it to 2024.
Honda has. If Ducati had the budget that Honda has, they'd be 10 years ahead of them.
I don't know. I don't see HRC having. I think they have a big budget, but I don't think it's 300 or 400 or 300% bigger than what KTM or any of those have. I think they have the resource available to pull from that, but I don't think they're spending that. They can't be. Look at the improvements in the bike in the past 3 years.
Oh, great.
How much did they really?
It's gotten worse since 2015. I've been keeping track of it. 2015 on, it's been getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, but I still think, yeah. I can.
Let's put it this way. That's when it started to accelerate, getting worse and worse. Even in 2013, they were screwing around. In 14, they were screwing around with it. Like they were going 2014, they were going back to 2013 and using parts. And, you know, when they start going back to use old parts, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So
300% onto 70 million is 301 million. There's no way Honda are spending that on MotoGP. Not a prayer. They couldn't. You run a whole Formula One team for the year on 135 million. That's 2 cars, 5,000 people. I think the only thing now that does take out is the rider's salary or the driver's salary. And
if you think 70 million times 300% is 210 million.
So it's 301. Just the calculations there, I think. Anyway, give 201 million or 210 million. Not even close. Couldn't be. Do you know? But yeah, look, I think it'll be interesting to see how the engineers, if the Honda engineers will wake up and what will happen. I think it's interesting. Pooch is saying, Sharon, we now have to build a bike to compete against Marquez. I also found it very funny that Marquez said that he rang Danny Pedrosa before he made his decision and asked Danny Pedrosa his advice. Hey, Danny, you gave me a great bike to win loads of championships. By the way,
thanks for developing that for me. But,
yeah. I'll work again with you in KTM 2025.
Yeah.
Will that bike be there in 2025? Yeah.
Okay. What's cooking there? Okay, but what are you working on?
Yeah, exactly. But look, I think it's good. It's a good thing for.
It's a good thing for the sport. I'll tell you, I want to buy a T-shirt already, and I can't find one.
What, a Marquez Grassini T-shirt?
Yeah. Oh no,
I'll buy one. Yeah, I'll buy you one. So we're over here in the proper side of the world, you know.
Yeah, I know. Over here in the desert of motorcycle racing.
Yeah. You're like the Japanese, you know.
Yeah. Tumbleweeds.
Hey, Bob, we're gonna get a left turn.
Go fast, turn left. Go fast and turn left again.
Although I still have to tell you that one of the scariest races I ever did was an oval race in a go-kart.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we did go we raced what do you call it? Lawnmowers, right? When the oval
That's
track.
Quite big over here as well. Yeah.
Well, I worked the hell out of the lawnmower. That thing breathes fire, literally.
Yeah. They're class lawnmower racing. Anyway, on that bombshell, I think we'll leave it there for this week. Thank you very much, Jakey Poo.
No problem, pal. It was glad to have you.
And Australia.
Yeah, it's supposed to be bitter cold and
windy.
Why is it always bitter cold? Don't they have one weekend of the freaking year?
It's just the location of where it is. The wind comes up over the coastline and straight onto the track.
Is it that way the whole freaking year? Did they say, let's put a racetrack here where it's always windy and cold and blisters, you know?
I think one of the corners is called Siberia, probably for a good reason.
Yeah. Who thought of putting it there? It's Phillip Island. Don't they have another racetrack?
Yeah, but fucking man, what a racetrack. What a fucking racetrack.
No, it's a beautiful racetrack. It just can't they put a dome around it or something like that?
Stop being so fucking American. Oh, let's put a fucking dome around it. Yeah, half the fucking fun of it is battling against the wind. But anyway, right, on that bombshell, we will leave. Oh, actually, let's talk about Australia. Friday. Who's your Friday, man?
Oh, man. Let's go. I'll jump back to Martin for Friday, man.
That's for an easy one. I'm going to go Jack Miller, flat out at home. Mad as a box of fucking frogs. Anyway, ready up, folks. We will see you later on and have a good week.
Hasta la vista.